system.
Excuse me, you've got to compare something with something. Will you tell me the alternative, which has improved the lot of the ordinary people? What is the system which, in your mind, has been successful? Most people, through most history, have lived in tyranny and misery. It's only a very tiny minority at any time that have been able to escape from it. That's the real beauty. That's the real achievement. Now, will you tell me what the alternative system is which has achieved?
Well,
tell me what. Excuse me.
And I say that elsewhere in the
What's
world,
the alternative? What's the alternative? What's your alternative?
The free enterprise system is of itself not an alternative because, as you agree, it does not exist. We are arguing really to defend those interventions which have been made by government on the behalf of people in an effort to reduce inequality, in an effort to reduce oppression.
And tell me, which of those are you defending in which of these countries where those interventions have benefited the masses? In most of the countries where you have departed from the free enterprise system, you have had a small class benefited at the expense of the masses. If you take the African countries, which have become one-party dictatorships, are you going to tell me they have benefited the masses?
I'm astounded by the examples of the third world that are brought into here. Those parts of the non-capitalist world in which the capitalist system has penetrated are typically higher income places than those parts where they haven't. Are you talking any kind of testable hypothesis, or is it just axiomatic that it's so? Because the studies that I've seen indicate that those countries where capitalists have never gone near them are poorer than they've ever been. They were poor before the capitalists got there, they were poor while the capitalists were there, and they're poor after the capitalists have left.
Your measures of wealth are not measures of the wealth of a people. They are measures, rather, of gross national product.
Give me your measures, then.
Which reflect, as in the case of Chile, which you don't want us to discuss, which reflect the great advances that have been made by the middle classes and the upper classes in Chile, as of this date, at the expense of the sharp decline in the income of working people. The Catholic Church...
Those are not the facts.
Well, I still think Milton has not told us the answer to the question, what is he saying? And it's very important we should know what he's saying. It seems to me that he should accept the fact that nobody is arguing for absolute equality and disregarding all other social and human objectives. He should accept that it is perfectly reasonable, widely endorsed, and perfectly logical for people to say, amongst other social political objectives, reducing inequality is a perfectly sensible one, and that in those cases where you can show that you can get a big gain in equality for only a very small loss in freedom or only a very small loss in efficiency, that is a sensible and legitimate thing to do, and if it involves government action by, for example, income tax or negative income tax, that is a perfectly proper and sensible thing to do. And if he's denying that, then I still say he's given us no moral or ethical arguments to explain why he is denying that perfectly proper concern with equality along with freedom, efficiency, and other human objectives.
The answer to that is that you can only serve one God. And that it's stating that there are many, many of these objectives is evading the fundamental issue. In addition to which, as an empirical matter, the attempts to achieve equality along your lines, to lessen inequality, have generally backfired. They have generally reduced freedom without, in fact...
In Germany?
Yes.
In Japan?
Yes.
In France?
Take the Japanese case, which is a marvelous case. Not now, but 1867 after the Meiji Restoration.
Right now. Hell with 1867.
Well, the reason for taking it then is because you had a far greater measure of free enterprise then than you have had more recently.
That's my point.
In almost all cases, the way to promote equality is the same as a way to promote, as an outcome, is the same as a way to promote freedom. If you promote freedom, if you remove arbitrary obstacles, you open the way for people to use their resources, you will end up, in my opinion, and I think the empirical evidence is overwhelmingly on this side, you will end up with both more freedom, more prosperity, and more equality.
You're a closet egalitarian, really, then. You
not.
Support the objective.
I would like to... There's an enormous difference between liking to see a result and being in favor of a particular method of achieving that result. Because if I were wrong, if freedom led to wider inequality, I would prefer that to a world in which I got artificial equality at the expense of freedom. My objective, my God, if you want, is freedom. The freedom of human beings, of individuals, to pursue their own values. That will also
well, there we leave this discussion at the University of Chicago. I hope you'll join us for another edition of Free to Choose.
Each year, billions of dollars are pumped into the education system. But how many parents are really satisfied with the schooling their children get? Teachers, children, parents, taxpayers. It sometimes seems no one is happy with our public schools. What's gone wrong, and what can be done about it? Don't miss Free to Choose next week.
Try again one more. Fire. Put the hand this time. Fire.